Let's see how well you know me. Do you know my favorite food? I could call my husband to see how well he knows me. I have a question. What's my favorite food in the whole world?
Taco Bell.
No.
Chips and dip.
Say it again.
Chips and dip.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Love you, bye.
Okay.
If you know me, you know my favorite food in the entire world is chips and dip, and today I'm showing you 4 easy party dips that involve no cooking, just in time for football and the holidays. So I'm starting with $1 Million BLT Dip. This is a combination of the viral $1 Million Dip and BLT Dip. This, of course, is like perfect for a game day or just any kind of party, but also my daughter likes to eat this kind of stuff in her lunchbox. Keep some aside so you can garnish at the end. Into the bowl, mayonnaise. You gotta have mayonnaise on your BLT. I'm gonna kind of cut the richness a little bit. Sour cream is popular in the BLT dip. In addition to mayonnaise, it's not in the $1 Million Dip. I want it in here. And because I promised no cooking, some pre-cooked chopped bacon. Now you can cook and chop your own, but it's not like those old bacon bits. About a half a cup of that. And then a bag of shredded cheese. And then I'm just gonna season it up a little bit with a little garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And then in with our green onion and tomato. The unique ingredient in the $1 Million Dip is slivered almonds. In the recipes, they want you to toast the slivered almonds, and since we're not cooking anything, I got roasted almonds, and then I'm just gonna chop them up myself. And it'll still give the texture to the dip. Then just stir it up. Oh my God, that looks good. And it's supposed to taste like $1 million. The good thing about this dip is that you can make it ahead of time. Gosh, you know what? I'll go ahead and portion out a little bit for my daughter for her lunch tomorrow. Then I'm gonna go ahead and top it with some lettuce. I like to get the kind that is pre-washed because it's not gonna be watery when you put it down on your dip. I like the crunchier lettuce. You can use whatever lettuce you want. Down with our L. And then those tomatoes that we put aside. Our L, our T, and our B. A few more of our green onions too. And then why not just a little crack of pepper. The easiest, most delicious $1 Million BLT dip. You could do it with potato chips, any kind of cracker you want. I'm feeling saltine for some reason. You know right there, that's a perfect bite. Got it all going on, creamy and crunchy. When you put those fresh veggies on top, you get that bite just like you do in a BLT sandwich, y'all. This is so good. Can we top it? I'm gonna try. Now you have seen a version of this, but you've never seen it done this way because I just made it up. This is Jalapeno Cranberry Dip. I know you've seen probably the jalapeno cranberry salsa. This is like a twist on that, but it's gonna be better. These are just frozen cranberries that I've let thaw for a little bit, and I'm just gonna put those into the food processor. And then a little addition I think is a good idea, dried cranberries. This is gonna keep this from being like a salsa and being kind of watery to kind of being a little more substantial. I'm adding in some green onions. Gonna save a little out to chop up for garnish. These, I'm just gonna kind of rough chop this to throw into the food processor. And then I'm gonna take 1 jalapeno and kind of seed it. I'm gonna leave some of the ribs in because I like a little kick, but I'll leave the seeds out. Also kind of give that a rough chop and throw that in. And then I'm just gonna pulse this until it's all sort of like finely chopped and comes together. So the frozen cranberries are kind of tart. So I'm gonna add in some orange marmalade because we know orange and cranberry go well together. About a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So this is going to sweeten it, but also sort of thicken it up a little bit. You can see how like good and thick that is. It's not just like a watery salsa. You just transfer that to a bowl. And then you want that to kind of come together for like an hour, but you could totally make this the day before. You could really serve this as is next to your turkey. There's texture in there with those like sweetened cranberries. There's tartness, it's juicy. All right, so I'm just gonna refrigerate it for about an hour and then I'll show you how to serve it up. Instead of serving this with tortilla chips, we're serving it on top of cream cheese with crackers. I also saw someone do it with the whipped cream cheese. This is gonna be easier to spread and it goes further, it stretches further. So just take your serving platter and just spread your cream cheese down. All of these dips also make a lot, and so you can feed a lot of people for not a ton of money. And I like that they're all hearty because I have been known to be at a party and just make my meal out of dips and then just top it with our cranberry mixture. See how thick and good this is? Don't just save this for the holidays. This is good for any time of year. You can get these ingredients all year round because frozen cranberries. I think people feel like they can only eat cranberries during Thanksgiving. Says who? And then I'm going to top it with more jalapeno because it's not that spicy. I want to kick it up. And then a little more green onion. Okay, that's it. Serve it with whatever cracker you want. Put a little spreader beside it and let everyone have their fun. It's tart, but also sweet, but also a little bit spicy. We're on a roll. Now for my favorite dip of all time, 7-layer dip. But why have 7 layers when you can have 10? This is the ultimate 10-layer dip. This is really the dip you serve at the party when you still want to fill people up. I like something where you can see the layers. First layer, refried beans. This is your most substantial ingredient, so it needs to go on the bottom. It holds everything up. Next is the avocado layer. What I usually do is just mash up some avocado, some ripe avocados. But if you do buy the pre-made, get the chunky kind. This is not the cheapest dip to make, but it goes so far. Layer 3 is my favorite layer. Everyone knows this is the way you do it. You take your sour cream and you mix it with some taco seasoning. It turns this like peachy kind of color, and in we go. You just want to cover all that avocado so it doesn't turn brown. See it? See the layers coming together. Layer number 4, some pepper jack cheese. So this is actually another dip that my kids eat as a meal. So like I could scoop some of this up and my daughter would take this for lunch with some tortilla chips. So if I was making this the day before, I would probably stop here and save the other layers for tomorrow. All right, layer 5 is lettuce. This is also a thing that is not in a lot of people's 7-layer dip, but it's in mine. This is a time where I use the prepackaged lettuce because it is the driest. We don't want this to get watery. Layer 6 is pico de gallo. You can really use some store-bought pico de gallo. Just be sure, if you do that, to drain it so that we do not water down this dip. It's really just cheaper to make your own. Keep in mind, if you don't like one of these layers, leave it out. Roma tomatoes also are going to be less seedy and juicy. All right, jalapeno, I'm gonna leave some of the seeds in, definitely the veins in, finely diced. Typically when I make pico de gallo, I do white onion. This is what I have, and it'll look pretty. A little bit of salt just to give it a little flavor. This will just be like our confetti, layer number 6. Okay, now another cheese. This is the one we've always done, just some cheddar in there. 7 down, 3 to go. All right, black olives. You can just buy the pre-sliced. I have these, so I'm just gonna kind of slice them into half or thirds. This is the iconic layer. This is the one that used to kind of be the top layer, but not today. That was layer 8. Layer 9, some pickled jalapenos. They're not like terribly spicy. It's delicious. And for our final layer, cilantro. I love it. If you don't love it, leave it off. You can have a 9-layer dip. If you buy pico already done, it usually has it in it. But I'm going heavy on it because I love it. I saw Half Baked Harvest top hers with a little bit of flaky salt and a little squeeze of lime. And that just sounds delicious. 10 layers. Get a sturdy chip because you're going to need it. First bite is going to have to be taken out with a spoon in order to really get it on. The OG Perfect Bite dip. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's still my favorite dip of all time. For my final trick, I'm ending on a sweet note. Why not have a dessert dip? Something sweet on the table. 5-layer caramel apple cheesecake dip. This one's gonna blow your mind. Before you break out the comments, I know we're not on our health journey when we go to a party and have dips, okay? So yes, I'm using your favorite chemical in this dip. But if you want to make your own fresh whipped cream, do it. Grab a dish, crush up some graham crackers on the bottom because we like texture. Layer 2, my boss's favorite, Philadelphia no-bake cheesecake mix. And it's already really soft, so the key is going to be getting it in here without disturbing the graham crackers. Just kind of get it on there and then just spread it to the edges. Next, the caramel. This is the best kind of like caramel sauce, the one you get in the produce section. That's the one you want to use here because it's really thick. Not like the ice cream topping kind. This would be easier to spread if it was microwaved for like 15 seconds. But I know y'all are gonna be mad if I said no cook and then we go to cook something. You could also just like dip it in some hot water. You could take a little knife and just kind of drag it around. Layer 4, your favorite chemical, So essentially I've used like half of every container. So this is really enough to make 2 full dips, or you can make one bigger one like in a 9x13. And you know the best part of the caramel apple are the salty peanuts around the edges. So we are going to top this with some chopped up salted roasted peanuts. This is a dip you can totally make in advance. You could make this at least one day before and just keep this in your fridge. So I'm gonna refrigerate it while I get this cleaned up so I can show you how to serve it up. Because I didn't forget about the apples. It is caramel apple, after all. Most time the caramel apples are the green apples, so I think that's gonna be my favorite. Dip time. See that little caramel kind of oozing out the side a little bit. I also like a little something salty with my sweet. So I thought these little pretzel chips would be nice. And then the vanilla wafers, some ginger snaps, some graham crackers. Let's dig in. You got crunchy, you got the peanuts, the caramel, the cheesecake. It's like that old school fruit dip, you know, because it was made with like a cream cheese base, but on steroids. You're gonna wanna make the big batch of this because it's gonna go fast. It's been a good day at the office making a video of my favorite food of all time, chips and dip. There's layers of flavor and layers of fun. You've gotta break out one, if not all of these at your next party. And look, you never even have to turn on the oven.
Yes, please. I was hoping you'd ask me. What do we? Oh, shoot.
But then watch this. You could just make fresh whipped cream. I know, but I'm not.